Hey, Blue Table fans, this is Robert.
Kelly.
We're here to talk to you today about something a little bit different. In the past, we've talked to you a lot about painting, about conversions, about assembly. Today we're going to talk to you about video games.
Yeah.
That's something pretty much all of us like to do. If you're watching our channel, it's probably something you like to do.
Yeah, I don't play the miniature games, but I play video games, so.
It seems like just about a lot more people play video games. And so we thought, today we would address that. We had a difficult time coming up with what was going to be the first game that we talked about. There are so many good games right now on the market. There's tons of them. But at the end of the day, we decided that we'd focus on one that at least one of us has played a lot. And this is a game that maybe most of you aren't familiar with, and so I thought it would be fun to do something a little different to kick this off. And we'll probably do more of these. We'll probably talk about some more games, and hopefully we'll get some involvement from you. So this first game is probably unlike anything you've seen before.
Yeah, it's a text adventure.
It's a text adventure.
And I've played text adventures before, but this one is like so cool. So much bigger than just a regular text adventure. So.
Yeah, if you imagine, back from when you were a kid, there were those choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Those books were so cool. You're walking down the tunnel and a slide monster jumps out, and if you want to go left and run away, then you go to page 90.
Yeah.
And if you want to fight the sludge monster with your fists, then you turn the page and you die. So it's kind of like that. It's called a MUD. That's the kind of game that it's classified as. It's as far as I understand, it's where the new genre, the MMORPG, comes from. And MUD stands for multi-user dimension. It's a text-based game that used to be played on Telnet back, before computers had these graphics and pixels and all those things. And it is a world that is programmed in text based on some story, and you can enter the world as a character with statistics, etc., and move around and interface with the world and with other players. In some cases, a lot of other players. And I've been playing this particular one for a little while. I played another one for many, many years. And I asked Kelly, our video game expert, if she would check it out over the weekend, and she's also done that. We've also talked with the creators of the game. We've got some special in-game, I can't think of the word. Promotions. Special deals. Competitions. That's what I was looking for, where if you start playing the game and you get your character to a certain level or do certain things, then you have the opportunity to win some converted miniatures from Blue Table Painting. And that's pretty awesome. And those competitions are going to be going on for the next couple months. So there's plenty of time to orient yourself in the game. It may not be for everybody. It's a game that has a heavy learning curve.
Yeah, and you have to... We're used to looking at amazing graphics nowadays. This one has none of that. It's all text-based, so you have to use your imagination, which is kind of cool.
Imagination?
Yeah. What is that? So it's kind of like going outside and playing sports. I don't know if you know what sports are, but...
Sports.
It's kind of like that. So it's like the sports of video games.
This game is the sports of video games.
That's right.
That's where we're going to go with that.
Yeah.
And there will also be, towards the end of the year, I think in November or December, there will be the opportunity to win a diorama, a terrain piece that is based on the game. I don't think we actually said what the game is called yet. This game is called, it's a MUD. It's based on the book series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and further on down the line, Brandon Sanderson. And
I don't know if Brandon Sanderson did the other half.
Yeah, he did the last 3, I believe. And they're wicked good. Wicked good. And the game isn't necessarily based on the story of the books. It's placed at a certain point in the books, and you can be a character from pretty much any faction. You can be from Tarvalon. You're going to have to excuse my pronunciation. When it comes to books, everybody says things different. You can be from Two Rivers. You can be from Andor. You can be from anywhere. You can be a Trolloc, one of the bad guys, and you can and the PK, the player killing in this game, excellent. You can just kill people dead, and it's great.
Yeah, and people just like come up and talk to you too, because I've only played it for like 3 days, and they can tell that you're lost. You don't know what you're doing, so they'll text you and they'll be like, "Do you need help? Like, do you want some pointers?" So there's tons of people playing already, and they'll come help you if you need help.
The community is extremely helpful. When I started, I had no end of people coming up and looking at me and seeing if I needed some equipment, and it's a different experience because they'll look at you and you'll try to picture what they're seeing, and they're like, "Oh, you need a wristband." And you're like, "Yeah, I need a wristband."
I need one of those.
And they'll give you one, and then they'll talk to you about how to get different kinds of equipment, and there are tanks, and there are thieves and rogues, and all the different kinds of classes that we've come to be used to in games, but just in a little bit of a different setting. In addition to this video, there's going to be, we'll have it somewhere, a facts and questions, an interview type thing that we did with the current administrator of the game, Vivian, and we'll put that up and you'll be able to see some of her thoughts about the game and where the game is going.
And for the conversion for the mini, it's a character from the game, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, hypothetically, and it's not just one miniature, they're going to be doing a series of events for the holidays, and each of those events will have certain prizes that you can win from us, as well as things that you can win in-game. They'll be doing some unique items, from what I understand, where you can get an item that never before has been in the game, and that's cool. Or you can get levels, things like that. On our end, you could probably pick out a picture on the internet of one of your favorite Wheel of Time characters and send it over to us, and we'll make it. That's what we do. As well as different terrain pieces based on scenes from the books. So that's where we're going to go with that.
Yeah, and it'll be cool because if we do another game, I don't know if we did like BioShock or something, we could have a Big Daddy created for you.
A Big Daddy. What do you like? A Big Daddy. So, Kelly is on the WOTMUD website. What is the website?
It's www.wotmud.org.
WOTMUD.org for Wheel of Time Mud,
Yeah,
multi-user
for
dimension. So she is on their website, and the website has tons of information on the world, the client itself, how you can play. It's got a little thing that helps you come up with names. It's got all sorts of stuff on here.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk them through how one might get started playing?
So, for some reason mine didn't work on Chrome, so I opened up Firefox, and it's working on that one, which is strange, but okay. So you just go, and on the very first page, there's 3 steps to playing. You can read the page play guide, and then the page WOT guide, and it just kind of tells you some basic tips and tricks on how to play, and basic movement, like west, east, south, and north.
Up and down.
Up and down. And then you just hit play the game right here. So, and it takes a second to load up.
I'm pretty sure you need Java on your computer to play this, as far as on this. Now there are other clients you can get. You can use things called ZMUD or CMUD or different clients that have additional functions. But when you're just getting started, this is all right to just check it out.
Yeah, and the CMUD one, that's the one that has like the map, right?
Yeah. Some of them have maps that you can attach to them, so it helps you keep track much better of where you are. because you've got to pay a lot of attention or just wander around till you know an area or whatever.
Yeah, so I clicked on the begin the game, and it brings you up to a text box. And the first time I played, I just typed in, they asked you first what name you want to be known by. And at first I typed in like my username for everything, Crazy Singer. And when I got into the world, some girl came up to me and was like, you know, you have to have like a name that fits with the Wheel of Time, right?
Yeah, so they definitely want you to choose a name that is a little bit more of a fantasy type name.
By what name do you wish to be known?
So it's asking what name does she want, and as she was saying before, they do want to have names that are sort of fantasy based. It doesn't need to be from the books, that's not necessarily what they want. Just something a little more, you don't want to name yourself like Silver Spoon or Giant Peanut or whatever people name themselves.
Out of all the names, you went with Giant Peanut.
Giant Peanut.
Okay, what name should we go by?
Erica.
Erica. Pass.
That's someone's name already. And that's something that you run into in any multiplayer game, is you've kind of got to figure out a name that you like that someone doesn't already have. So you're going to have to quit and make it a different one. How about Kelly Head?
Kelly Head? They're going to kick me out.
And then they'll know that this isn't a real character, and they can just get rid of it. Anyway, so now it's prompting for a password, and it gives you.
It can be whatever you want.
Yeah, you don't want to pick a password that's easily guessable, is all they're saying. And they don't get quite the same traffic that World of Warcraft or Amazon or something gets, but if you spend a lot of hours working on a character, you don't want some guy just to take it and kill you off or something.
Yeah. So once you do your passphrase, they ask you if you want to be male or female. You can't be nothing.
Yeah,
So,
there isn't a gender neutral in this game.
So then they ask you what race you want to be. And there's human, I don't know what that is, Shanshin?
Yeah, something like that.
Shanshin. And Trolloc.
Yep, and those are the three different main groups in the game. The Shanshin, as she said, is from across the ocean. The Trollocs are from the north, and they, eat people. And then the humans are everybody else.
Yeah, so we're going to go with human. Then you select your homeland or where you're from, right?
Yeah. Now this does make a little bit of a difference. So as you're learning the game, the first character you make, it doesn't matter too much. But if you are going to play a little bit more, then you might want to either get on the WOTMUD wiki, and there is a wiki, or when you get in, talk with people about what are good starting lands for different classes that you want to play. And people on the game are very, very helpful, and they'll give you all sorts of advice. So you can just pick whichever one you want for now.
So we'll do 2 rivers.
The 2 rivers.
Then you select your class of characters. So you can be a channeler, a hunter, a rogue, or a warrior.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Wheel of Time genre, the book series, the universe, channelers are spellcasters. So that's pretty much a wizard.
Okay, we're going to be a wizard, Harry. Okay, so then when you choose that, you get sent to heaven or something like it. And
so all these red lines that are coming up on her screen are someone that is, not someone, it's the system giving her kind of a small tutorial. It's saying a couple things that she can do, some things that she can try, and someone is laughing at her, probably making fun of her name because she's Kelly Face.
Yeah.
But, well, that'll be alright for now.
Yeah. So they kind of explain where you are. They say you're amidst the heavens, and there's a fountain in the center of a circle, and then there's a barrel too.
Yeah, so it describes it. So here you have the name of the room. okay, and a description of the room. And then further down, you have all the people who are in the room with you, and it looks like there's a few people here, and some things that are also in the room, and obvious exits, ways to get out of the room. Different rooms you can go to, different ways to interact.
Yeah. So I'm going to look into the barrel. Is it the last time it worked?
Get rid of the. Just try look into barrel. Try look in barrel. There you go. Now, because it's a text-based game, it has specific parameters for the things that you need to do. So sometimes you'll have to explore the syntax a little bit. And it's pretty... that's you. That just disappeared. It's pretty consistent throughout the game. So look in pouch, look in bag, look in backpack, look in barrel. That's going to be... The game is very good at having consistency throughout. So in one area, it's not going to be completely different than another area.
Yeah. So I'm going to take torch from barrel. So I got a torch.
So she just saw a barrel in the room she was in, looked in the barrel, saw there was a torch in there, and took the torch. So when it's nighttime in the game and it becomes dark, she'll be able to use the torch and still be able to see.
Yeah. And then there's a sign, I believe, somewhere. And it's cool because it's like if you were playing with pictures, like with a graphic game, and it says exactly what everyone's doing. So some guy named Joseph is playing with a sword, putting it in his pouch.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So stuff will pop up like that, so you can kind of imagine what everyone's doing.
And you can look at people. So for example, if she goes back to the bottom here, he left. Well, hit look. So and you can just do L. The game's pretty good with abbreviations. Try again. There you go. And look at that, your color's just kicked in. So type L, look at Hackett. And I don't think you need to put at. You can just do look Hackett.
Hackett has a few scratches.
Yeah. And so he's got a little poem attached to his name. And that's pretty fun. And he's trying to talk with her. He happens to be in that area because I don't know that he'll be pleased that he's immortalized as being dead. But being in this room means that he died in battle. This is where people go when they're new or when they die in a fight between other races. And so she can interact with him and say hi back.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, now she's having a conversation. So the game is very large. The game is huge. It has thousands and thousands and thousands of rooms that are organized in fashion as the Wheel of Time world. And you can go in any room, you can go pretty much to any place. You can pick a fight with about anybody. And the game is also fluid. The story is fluid. If enough players got behind someone and declared him the dragon from the story, if you happen to know the story, then they could force that part of the storyline forward. So the game is very interactive as well on the administrative end. So if she types who, that will show her a list of who's online. And there happen to be 25, 26 people online on the light side right now, and probably, in the same neighborhood on the other sides right now. So I'm guessing around 60 people. That's a pretty typical number from what I've been told, what I've seen. And the game fluctuates at some time, at some points of the year it has more people. It used to have a couple hundred. Right now it's where it is, and we hope to get more people to play. And anyway, I don't remember where I was going with it. But it was very good.
Yeah, so I don't know how far do we want to go. So there's a sign that popped up at the very beginning that said the only way to go is downward towards the Wheel of Time, and you get to pick where you go, right?
Right.
So if I head down.
And there's a lot of abbreviations in this game. You can abbreviate a lot. So instead of typing down, you can just hit D and enter. And our internet connection here is sometimes not the best. From this room, if you're brand new and you just go down again, then you get into a newbie area where you can kind of learn the commands of the game. Things will be taught to you. But from this room, you can also go to other places. If you look post like it says here, it shows you a bunch of different areas that you can enter into and explore those areas. So you've got Emmons Field, Camelin, Amador, Ilion, Tyr, places from the games that people would recognize, or from the books.
So we go to main.
So you've got to do this command.
Oh yeah.
And the game is pretty good about telling you what to do. You've got to read it.
The creator embraces you.
Dun dun dun. And okay, so the first thing she gets is it says it's pitch black because it's nighttime. Well, she happens to have a torch. She's just not holding it. So she should type hold torch. Now she's got the torch. So she looks again. Now she sees she's in a park. There's a pond there. There's the yellow ones are actual people who are there, or NPCs also. And then also what is going on in this room.
How many computer characters are there? NPCs.
Bajillions.
Bajillion.
Yeah, everywhere you go, there's tons of them. One of my characters spends a lot of time in Tar Valon, which is where most of the wizards are, the wizard types, and there are hundreds of NPCs there. They're walking around all over the place, and you could potentially pick fights with them, or you could go out into the forest and pick fights with bears, or you can go up north and fight bad guys, or you can go out west and fight other things. So the game is very classical that way. It's about fighting things, getting experience, but there's also a quest point system, which is something that I think is pretty cool. So you can join different clans, all the different clans from the books. You know, you can be a child of the light, or you can be, if you type who, for example, you may just see some. So this guy's a member of the Civil Watch. This guy's a Shanaran Lancer. This guy's a member of the Rising Sun. And those guys get quest points based on doing certain things, like there's a role-playing aspect of the game that you can get involved with, where you push along the storyline, or you're involved in the storyline, which is pretty fun for some people. Some people don't like that quite as much. You can kill people on the opposite teams and scalp them, and turn those scalps in for quest points, and that's epic.
Does butch mean butcher?
Yeah, butcher. So it's giving you a bunch of commands over here that you can use.
So you can do whatever you want.
You can pretty much do just about anything. One last thing we could probably look at is if you type practice. I don't know that you can see much from here. The game has a lot to do with the skills that you learn, like any classical RPG. And I think that this is just our internet connection here is not quite as... you are skilled in the following. Nothing. So you see how she has 8 practices. Those practices can be used to learn just about anything. Sneaking, backstabbing, going into a room and leaving tracks or not leaving tracks, seeing where other people are and kind of being able to hunt them down, and riding horses. There's survival skills that let you butcher corpses to get meat and prepare it and eat it. All sorts of things. So, the game is awesome.
It's huge. It's awesome.
It's huge. If you play it this month and next month, you can get a bunch of cool BTP swag. People on there are having a competition right now, from what I understand, about helping new people. So if you get on there, you can take a little bit of a look and see what's going on. I recommend highly that you go to the Wheel of Time forum. There's a ton of things that happen on there. If you look up the WOTMUD forum, they have it's got all sorts of information about things that you'll want to learn how to do. So I think that's a decent intro.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you can post them in the comments, or you can send us an email, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So come and play
Yeah.
it. It's fun.
Yeah, come and play it. It's fun.
It's fun.